Hi, this is Lynn Flynn, President at the Rowland Group.
And I'm James Kelly, partner at the Rowland Group.
Today we want to talk a little bit about interviewing, and especially we want to talk about what are things you do before you go to an interview to prepare. So James, if you were going to give advice to someone and say they were going to go meet with a hiring manager, what do you think that hiring manager expects that person to have done before they show up for the interview?
I think there's a couple of things. First of all, you definitely want to know where the interview is. So either Google it, or I might even suggest driving by beforehand. Secondly, you wanted to go check out their website. You want to make sure that you know something about the company, because a lot of times hiring managers will come up with a question like, what do you know about us? And you don't want to have a blank stare on your face. I would say the last thing probably is make sure you're prepared with some questions. Make sure you have some questions ready about their culture, about what the expectations are for the job, and beyond that, maybe something a little final that you might do is say, hey, I want the job if things go well. So those are the kind of the top 4 or 5 tips I'd give on what to do to prepare.
So you're kind of thinking ahead before you show up about what's going to be the end result and where you go in after the interview's over too, by initiating, hey, I really am interested in this position, assuming you are.
Absolutely. And even if they answer most of the questions that you had written down, writing them down shows that you put some thought into the interview prior to going.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes total sense to me.
Let me ask you this. As a hiring manager, how early should somebody show up to an interview?
That's a great question, actually. I had a client, actually, that would give me some tips on this, and her rule of thumb was, hey, if you show up more than 15 minutes early to my office, it's really irritating to everyone, because you're basically making someone have to entertain you, or say you get called that somebody's here, then you feel like you have to rush what you were doing. Maybe you're in the middle of something and they're not supposed to really be there for another 15 minutes. So technically, that's just a little bit, that's really on the borderline of early. So sit in your car and wait a while if you need to.
Maybe go in 5 minutes ahead?
Yeah. Okay. Now, worse than that, the kiss of death is be late for the interview. So I loved your tip that you said show up and see where it is so you're not late for the interview. You know, be prepared how you get in the building, but do not be late to an interview, because there's some people, well, we know a person personally that if you were 1 minute late to that interview with this individual, you're done.
Right.
So that's what I'd say about promptness for the interview, basically.
Okay.
So anyway, these are just a couple things we wanted to talk about. We could go on and on about interviews, and we'd love to talk more about it, but hey, come over to our office if you would like to have some help with your career and where you want to go next, and we'll help you with looking at your resume and giving you prep work. We do that all the time with candidates before we send them out on an interview. We want you to be ready and have your best chance of success in your career. So stop by and see us.